crazy stuff on my internet right now. So, hi everyone, I am Kat and welcome to Kat's Creations, where tonight I'm going to teach you how to make a vintage chicken farmhouse wreath with this sign, which is brand new from Three Birds Nest. So if you're interested in the sign, go to 3, not the number, but written out number, THREE, Birds Nest Co. They are on Etsy. You'll see like 3 little birds, which is their logo if you want to purchase the sign. That's where I got the sign from. Let me make sure I'm getting everything else pulled up. I didn't need the watch. There we go. Hang on one second. Okay, so I can see all of you people that are joining us. So, housekeeping rules, especially for New Year's Eve. If you want to get notifications when we go live, like this is a unscheduled live. So if you're on your phone, you will be notified if you click the like and follow button. It requires both of those. And then once you do that, you go into your 3 dots at the top, especially when we're live, and you can turn notification on for all posts. That way, whenever I post that we're going live, you'll be notified about it. If you like this design and want to replicate it once you get all your supplies in, go ahead and click the share button. That'll share it to your page. It's much easier to find than trying to find it on my page. You can also go to my YouTube page. Any of the public lives on Facebook are broadcast there as a replay as well. Sometimes that's a little easier to find. It is under Kat's Creations 777. Let's see. If you're new here, let us know. We'd like to welcome you. A lot of times you find your creative connection here, somebody close by, and then you guys could connect that way.
Got Diane Shepard said, hi from the UK, caught you live. Happy New Year. It's 1 a.m. here. So it is New Year, so you're 1 year older than us.
So yes, Happy New Year's to you. So we're definitely hoping and praying that 2021 will be a much better year. At least if it's not, we have 9 months of experience to go off of, so hopefully it won't be as catastrophic or as challenging as 2020 has been. Today, just before I forget, is the last day. If you want to join the private group for 2020, you can pay for the year up front. You save $54, so it's $150 for the full year. And we begin all of our courses starting Sunday, July, I want to say it's January the 3rd is the first class. And we're taking everything and going back to old school for design. So I'm going to teach you the entire design process, how we go from start to finish. And then the business classes will begin again on Monday, January the 4th. And I'll walk you through every step of taking whatever hobby you have and turning it into a part-time or full-time business. So I will teach you all the tools. It'll be up to you to implement those tools and hopefully be off to a success. I know we've had a lot of success stories with members for 2020 that did phenomenal despite a, challenging year. But I'm hoping that if you guys are looking for that, those are both things you get, the creative side and the business side, because our business starts over again in January. Okay, YouTubers, if you want to get notified when I upload a new video, just make sure you click on the bell in the upper right hand corner. That turns your notifications on, and you can also subscribe to my channel. I think that's it. And tomorrow we are launching the private group on a monthly basis. So if you don't have the $150, it's $17 a month, and that begins tomorrow. So look for that to go live on my website as well.
And I just pinned your website.
Oh, you did? Okay, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and start and get started. Do you guys have any questions before I begin? I always look to Steve because he's fielding everything for me.
A lot of the guys are just saying Happy New Year. Debbie said love the sign. Sue said Happy New Year, Kat and Steve. You look beautiful, Kat. She does.
Thanks. Don't you guys love the sign? I fell in love with it because it's so vintage and retro looking. So I hope you guys like the color choice that I picked out. This one's a little challenging because on the background, it's not quite a true blue. And that's something that I'll be teaching you in the private group going forward, is how to deal with colors that become a challenge to try to find the right ribbon, the right mesh, the right embellishments to go with this. So this one is pretty much going to have everything in it. We're going to start with a natural and cream jute burlap base, which is not true burlap. It's a man-made or imitation burlap. We're going to add speckled eggs. We're going to do chicken wire ribbon. We're going to add chicken feathers, and then hopefully everything will kind of tie in together. This wreath is available for pre-purchase, but it's on my website. So KatsCreationsNMore.com. If you're interested in purchasing this, there's only going to be one. So you can hop over there and pick that up before I finish. So on a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame, you have 6 sections divided up. What I teach in my private group is this method that I teach you will work for all 6 types of Deco mesh bases that we'll walk you through one at a time. So you have 4 rails here. Each of the 6 sections is going to be wired up exactly the same. You're going to take your pipe cleaner. You're going to wire together the 2 innermost rings using the weld sections. And what I mean by that is these, where the rails are welded to the frame. So we add 1 to the inner top or most 2, and then we're going to use the weld mark and this to determine a middle ground for wiring together the outer 2, and you're going to add 2 to each section. So 1 on the innermost and then 2 to the outermost section, just like so. And then what that does is basically create, it's about 3 inches between each one on the outside. On the inside, it's a little bit further apart, but because your diameter is much smaller, you can go a little further apart on those. So we're using 10-inch jute burlap mesh, and these are cut to 20-inch pieces. We are going to ruffle, and we ruffle on this particular method because I want more of a flat but wavy look to the design. This way I have enough space to add the sign, to add a bow, to add some other embellishments to the inside. So this won't make it too high, but it will make it a full wreath. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding these to each of the 18 pipe cleaners that I've put on this frame. I always, for whatever reason, just start with the inside, and then I just go to the next pipe cleaner I come to, whether it's the outside or the inside ones. That way they just kind of lay better. I don't even have my cutters out. Wow. Let me grab these. So I know that because of this design and doing designs in the past, I'm going to go ahead and remove the 6 inner ones as we get to them, because between the sign and the bow, it's going to take up a lot of my real estate on the wreath.
And I don't think you were able to wood burn this right because of the...
No, this has to be rotary cut because it contains the natural fibers, the little cotton fibers that you see that create that cream, and even some of the neutral, or what they call natural fibers. Those are all done with like cotton. So you'd be able to get through certain sections of it, but then every time you encountered one of the natural fibers, they would just sit there and smoke. And that's how you can tell. Let's see.
Barbara, the sign came from Three Birds Nest.
Yes.
So ThreeBirdsNestCo on Etsy. All spelled out.
Yeah, go ahead and just add that to a comment. So I'll Steve comment exactly how it's written so you can find it on Etsy. I'm always looking for vintage signs. I love them. So this is kind of like that, I don't know, back to the 50s look, maybe. And let's see, I know I saw that. Oh, thanks, Renee. It's just one of those weird days. You know how you have those weird days where you do your hair and for whatever reason it just comes out good. So today was good hair day. Other days you throw it up like last night in a ponytail or a little clip and just be done with it. Okay. So when you have to cut this with a rotary cutter, you're going to get quite a bit of the fraying, and that's okay. That's just part of that natural rustic look. To help retain the fibers or to keep it from additionally fraying, you can spray it with E6000, which is an adhesive spray, and that helps keep the fibers intact. And because the only place really you're going to get it fraying from is the cut edges, it's the reason why I put the ruffles in with the finished edges to the inside and the outside, because that's where you're going to get the most play. Like where people are going to touch it is going to be around the outside. So we want that finished look. And I forgot to take my inner, so I'll give it a couple more twists just to make sure it won't come off. And then we'll snip this one off. It's just like a time saver thing. You could wait and do them all at the end, but I'm trying to do it as I go. Let's see what else.
Paula said, I would like to see how you are set up to cut your mesh. I know you use a wood burner to use the mesh roller. Do you have a special table or... No, she just cuts it right here on the mat, and she uses her rotary cutter.
Yep, just a regular Fiskars rotary cutter. And doing it on the self-healing mat. Eventually you want to get to a point though, because I see some people when they're using their rotary color, they actually, and you can kind of see it right here, you can see I put a pretty decent groove in on my 20-inch line. But in order to get that to stop happening, just occasionally move your Deco mesh down and maybe cut it from the 10 to the 30, you know, measuring out your 20-inch.
Or the 2
so you don't get this groove happening in here.
Right.
So I was like, wow.
And you don't need a mask unless you're using like a burlap.
Yeah, this is a jute burlap, so it's not a true burlap.
Right. Hope that answered your question, Paula. And then I pinned. Yep. So I pinned Three Birds Nest, and it takes you right to her page.
Oh. Isn't that crazy that you know how to do that so well now? Just from the years of pinning. Awesome.
Pamela, the length of the mesh is 20 inches, right?
Yes, this is
20 inches on everything.
Yeah. Generally what happens is when you get a brand new roll of 30-foot, 10-yard Deco mesh, you should be able to get 18 cuts at 20 inches and go through and use a perfect roll of Deco mesh. Sometimes you might have to make adjustments in like the final cut, just because it depends on how they put the Deco mesh on the roll. Sometimes you have to, you know, square up the beginning roll of your Deco mesh because it kind of just doesn't look straight. So that will vary.
And you can slough a bit and make them 19.5 inch.
Yeah.
So that you know by the time you get to the end, you have plenty.
You could do that. You could do what was I going to say? 19 on the 6 on the inside that you're going to cut down.
Yeah.
And then go back to 20 on the outside.
Yeah.
So you'll just find those little adaptations that you can start to use as you work with your Deco mesh more.
Charlotte, thank you for sharing. She said sprinkled from northeastern Kentucky.
Well, thank you so
much. And you're allowed to say share.
You are allowed to say share. But, and I understand, people have just gotten into the habit. Some people say, I don't like to say it. But yes, you are welcome to use the word share. The only time you're not allowed to say the word share is if you're hosting a contest on your page and you're asking people to share it to give you more votes, that's where they frown on it. So as long as you're not doing a contest or giveaway, you're okay.
Yeah. Hi, Alex. She said, hello, love the sign, watching while packing. Are they moving?
Yes, her husband got a job in Tennessee. So
Oh,
many
wow.
people are
Congrats.
moving to Tennessee. So I was like, oh,
Congrats.
congratulations. New beginnings for you. Lots of changes, but
Yeah.
in a positive way.
I think there's going to be a lot of changes this next year.
There will be. But like I said, you know, we have experience to help us weather the storm. So I'm just going to put my faith. I've been like meditating on what will my word be for 2021, and I don't have a clear vision on that yet, on what that word actually looks like. And I'm trying to think, what was my word for 2020?
Reflection.
No, that's just what
that's what
I
you
was
told
saying.
me, yeah.
He's like, that should be a word, reflection. So I was like, no, I always do it every new year. I reflect on what went well. And with 2020, most people are like, nothing went well. It was a horrible year. And I'm like, if you've been with me long enough, you know that I like to flip that around on a different type of perspective and change how we view things. Definitely was a huge learning curve for us, you know, in 2020. So new things are on the horizon. I start my new business class Monday. So I'm super excited.
Simone said, Kat, my word is grit.
Your word is grit.
That's a good word.
I was thinking I was going to make it challenging. I think that was the word for 2020. Challenging. Wasn't going to give up. I knew we would get through it. What it would look like at the end, however, was still a mystery, but we made it. And we're still here, and we're stronger because of it. Would we have wished things differently? Absolutely. In a heartbeat. But sometimes I think that growth happens in the valleys. It doesn't happen on the mountaintops. And sometimes it's the deepest valleys where we grow the most. I think we've all grown. I think this has been one deep valley. Right? So I'm super excited. I always am whenever New Year's rolls around, because the possibilities, right? We start tomorrow with a fresh blank sheet of paper, and what we choose to do with it is entirely up to us. So I'm hopeful that it's going to be good changes, not negative changes. So we have a few more. These are sticking. Let's see what else.
Juanita, do I need a link in order to get more information on your private group or Etsy? You need to go to her Etsy shop if you want to pay monthly.
Not yet.
Not yet. Starting
Tomorrow. Right.
Or on her website.
So if you just go to the website, KatsCreationsNMore.com, you will find everything that you need right at the top. I think it's one of the very first posts that come up. It's the 1 year private group, but it lists everything that you get. And tonight's the last night that we're running that special, where it's $150 instead of $204. So you save $54. And then you're good for the whole year.
Dana said, hi, new from California, so welcome.
What part of California? We're in California. Northern, Central, we're in Southern California.
Barbara asked, who is going to do your teaching, your group?
My group teaching?
Yeah, who you are.
I am doing group teaching, but my business class that I start will be with Jennifer Allwood on Monday. So I'm super excited because she's launching a new course.
Oh, she's Tulare. She's Tulare.
You're in Tulare? We know exactly where that's at, because that's where my daughter stops, or where we stop if we're driving from here to Modesto. Tulare is the halfway point.
Yep.
The gateway to the sequoias,
Because
I
we
believe is
live-
what it's called.
Because we live in Victorville.
Yes. So 2 more pieces after this. And I like using the jute burlap just because it creates an all natural, neutral palette. Because with this base, you can go in any direction with any wreath. You could do it for any single holiday, whether it's rustic, you could do beach wreath, having this as your base method, any holiday. Farmhouse, definitely. You always want to take things back to the natural. Oh, I will need you to grab some raffia out of the cabinet for me. Because that's the one thing I didn't grab, now that I was thinking that. It is in my closet. Definitely want some raffia in here. Just because I like the way it looks. Last piece. Okay. Yeah, central between Fresno and Bakersfield, absolutely. Because I think from here, I'm trying to think how long it would take us. I think it's about 2.5 hours to get to Tulare.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I just
Or a
did
little
one
bit
that.
less. Yeah.
Thanks, Steve. Okay. So do you guys have plans for tonight, or are you guys just home for the evening? There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna go around really quick and make sure that I pull all my pipe cleaners that are on the outside towards the outside, because sometimes they get twisted as you're moving deco mesh in or out. It just makes it easier to find.
Pamela, yeah, she's only cutting the pipe cleaners off on the inside because the sign's going to cover most of it and her bow.
Yeah. Okay, so there we go. This is what you get by creating, and as you guys can see, you can see how it still has light through it, but we're still going to be adding ribbons and embellishments and bows and signs, so it's going to fill in nicely. So this is a really nice look for, like I said, virtually any wreath you want to start with.
Tiffany, that's awesome. She said, I'm going to make my first wreath. I'm going with an Easter theme. Loved watching you learn how to make one.
Oh, I know I haven't even started any of my Easter. I started some spring angels. Oh,
And you can see the cute Easter one in the background.
oh yeah, the lavender one.
The bunny. No, the bunny.
Oh yeah, Mr. Bunny. Yeah, he's my grapevine. So, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and punch holes in my sign. So I use the Beadsmith 1.5 millimeter hole punch. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball this to the edge.
Hi, Lisa. She said, hi from California as well. I finally got alive. Happy New Year. God bless you. Lisa, where do you live?
Yeah, so
And then Sherry Thomas is in Vegas, so that's not even 3 hours.
Right, so you guys are all fairly close to us.
Bonnie said, we're supposed to get bad weather later tonight, so I'm staying home watching wreath videos.
Oh, okay.
Teresa, good last name.
What,
Smith?
Smith?
Winter storm watching here in North Texas, staying home by the fire. Well, that's a good way to celebrate it.
That's kind of where we're at. It's been really super cold, but this is our traditional winter. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna add my pipe cleaners to my sign, get my sign all prepped and ready to go. And then we'll work on the bow and get the bow ready.
Well, that's nice, Rachel. She said, my plans are watching you make a beautiful wreath, then to bed. Won't be able to make it till midnight.
I never make it to midnight. Well,
Sometimes we don't want to.
yes, well, I'm gonna say we are asleep before midnight, but when midnight comes, we know it. It is that loud here.
We're actually hoping that we have high winds.
That'll keep people away from.
Yeah, we normally get a lot of people setting off fireworks.
They won't. Okay, let's make the bow. So
Yes, I'm trying to stay awake. I know we'll not be making midnight.
let's do that.
Hi, Gail.
So we're grabbing, let me show you all the ribbon we're using tonight.
Simone, yes, that's true. We are at least getting cold weather in California. We were blessed to have a couple days of rain.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so with this sign, my ribbon selection, I picked a neutral palette because I'm picking the neutral from the beige in the sign. And so neutrals are going to be your whites, your blacks, creams, and grays. So with this, you've got to be very selective on your sign. You could go black, white, and blue and ignore, just let the red just pop by itself. On this sign, however, I'm not incorporating the blue. I'm going to let the blue basically be the standalone, the eye catcher. So we're going to pull in the burgundies, the blacks, beiges, and whites for this and just leave the blue alone. Primarily because every blue that I pulled out, I could not match this blue exactly. It's what they call a tertiary color, and tertiary colors are hard to match. So that's where you might take a picture of your sign, go to Hobby Lobby or go to Craft Outlet, and you think you have the right blue until you bring it in, set it next to your sign, and it's like, well, is this more of a green? Is this more of a blue? Is this more of a gray? It's kind of like an in-between. So we'll put that there. So I think, 1, 2, 3, I think those are the colors I'm going to use. Even though the black isn't predominant, I still want it to just, if you notice, all of these are black with predominantly white, but it just has the little details in it. So we're going to start with the chicken, I call it chicken wire ribbon, just because it's got the chicken wire pattern, and then you have chicks and roosters and chickens throughout this particular pattern. This came from Craft Outlet. Matter of fact, let me just look. All of the ribbon came from Craft Outlet. So here's the thing though, farmhouse ribbon is really hard to come by right now. It's sold out, I think, pretty much on Craft Outlet, the Reshop, and it's out of stock for at least 60 days. So this is where you have to get really creative and come up with those other ribbon places and order directly from them. That's kind of what I did.
Nancy, yeah, Kat has used the Easy Bow Maker and she prefers the Bodebra. And it just depends on what you learned with and what you like, what you're comfortable with.
Exactly. So for me, like Steve says, this is what I learned on, because this was affordable when I started. This was $15.99, I think. I don't think it's gone up much. You can get it at Hobby Lobby and apply a 40% off coupon. And I think they sell the Easy Bow Maker as well. For me, the Easy Bow Maker, it's long and it's got the sticks in it. Yeah, the pegs. And once you put the pegs in, they're not supposed to wiggle or come loose. You're not supposed to take them out. So for me, space is a premium, and that just becomes a huge space issue for me. So I have it right now sitting on the side of my closet.
Lisa Del Val is from California. She's from Rolling Heights.
Oh!
And I said that's where you and I met back in '95.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Know right where that's at.
She said, I watch you on YouTube and love watching your wreaths and your teaching.
Oh, thank you.
She said, yeah, I've been having a really hard time finding farmhouse ribbon.
Yep.
Are there some other places that have them?
Places that I would reference, you check. White Bayou Wreaths and Creations, I think is the name. Gail can correct me if I'm wrong. Deco Exchange would be another good source for ribbon. Like when I started back in 2017 doing this as a full-time business, there was not, I think there was 3 places you could buy ribbon from. It's Craft Outlet, Reshop, and Trendy Tree. Trendy Tree's another. So also go to Etsy. A lot of times you'll find sellers on Etsy like, let me think.
Perpetual Ribbon.
Perpetual Ribbons has her own website. But a lot of the sign makers now are also selling ribbon. So check with ThreeBirdsNest, check with Jane's Front Door Decor, check with Shore Life Creations. a lot of times you'll be able to pick up ribbon while you're ordering your signs at the same time.
Good idea.
Where I'm getting a large chunk of mine from is 5th Street Studio, and they're on Etsy. So this is, like I said, sometimes you have to get really creative and go, well, you have to look around.
Does Crinkle Design have ribbon?
Oh yeah, Crinkle Designs. Sorry about that one too. And theirs are all 50% off. So when you go to their website, if you enter the code, I think it's 50/50, you get 50% off your order.
I remembered one.
You did. I'm like, how could I forget? Okay, so in starting this ribbon, I did 10-inch tails with 5.5-inch loops. And I apologize because I was answering questions while I was making that. And then we'll do the Harlequin. And I like this because it's on a canvas, so you kind of get that vintage faded look. And this one's going to be a 9.5-inch tail with a 5-inch loop on both sides. And this is just my pattern for doing bows on this particular size. I already know what the dimensions will be and how it will look. So I'm just defaulting to...
Is Crinkle Designs on Etsy, or are they on their own website?
It's crinkledesigns.us, so it's not .com. Yes. Oh my Lord, how can I forget? So, and they're actually one of our discount places that you can get.
Through the private group?
Yeah, through our private group, we get a really nice discount from them. So, it's just sometimes...
Another reason to join the private group.
Yeah, you get it from Jane's Front Door Decor, ThreeBirdsNestCo,
Crinkle Designs.
Crinkle Designs, and Shore Life Creations. So that's just one of the perks you get, and that's like, you don't even have to pay extra for it.
Yep.
Right? So 9.5-inch tails and 5-inch loop on that one. And I'm just going to take these and push them that way if I can. I don't think we'll need them for anything else unless we choose to add additional embellishments. Okay, back to black. I'm trying to, 1, 2, 3. I always try to pattern something like the top, the last ribbon that I put on the top, I try to pick a pattern. Just because it's where your eye is drawn to, first of all, and I like it to be something pretty. So I was trying to pick between the 1.5-inch Harlequin, or this is called black and white ticking. And this is going to be 9-inch tail. This is really thick ribbon. Okay. And this is going to be a 4.5-inch loop. So you'll always see me bring my bow maker back to the 10-inch line because I'm measuring it looking down through the centerpiece of my bow maker right on the 10 mark line. So I can actually pull these out and make sure they fall where they're supposed to. That was right. And then we'll take this out to 9. And then your dovetail is just going to be taking your wired edges together. You fold them in half, and then you're going to cut from the folded side to your point. Depending upon how far up you bring your scissors will determine the depth of your V. So you're just going to have to figure out, are you someone who likes it like a deep V, or just, you know, just enough to show? I like the deeper ones. It just, for me, it creates a more finished look. And then I'm going to take this cranberry solid and kind of put that in. I wasn't going with a true red. I was kind of, because this is not even a true red. It's more like a rusty, like a barn. What do they call it? Barn house red?
Mm-hmm.
Barn house brown? It's like what a faded barn would look like.
Yeah.
So sometimes just adding a pop of a solid color is a nice way to break up a whole bunch of patterns.
Juanita asks, it's a good question, Juanita. Do you have any suggestions on a good way to find a business name for my up-and-coming wreath business? Go online, right? Go like Google search
Well,
or Facebook search. If you have a name you have in mind, go into Facebook and search for it. If you can't find it there, then go to Etsy, search for it there.
yeah. So that's something that I talk about and we'll be talking about when we do our business class on Monday. It's everything you need to consider when you're ready to go into business. And so I walk you through all the things, all the mistakes that I made when I jumped into this in 2017, because I wasn't looking at it as a business. I was looking at it for, I had to do a craft fair, a local craft fair, and I needed a name for a business. And I wanted business cards so that I could pass those out. So I was not thinking, I was just like, oh, my name's Kat, we're going to go Kat's Creations. Because it's not just going to be wreaths, it's going to be wreaths and everything else. So I kind of give you some tips to help you avoid some of the mistakes that I made. So come join us. I think you'll get a lot out of it. And there's, I mean, to be totally honest, there's people who really aren't into the business side of it initially. Mm-hmm. You know, they're doing it for gifts for family and friends. And then what ends up happening is family and friends, through word of mouth, give you additional resources. And pretty soon you're like, wow, okay, I'm doing this. People are paying me for it. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of in business. So
Kathy Sakurai asked, I pay monthly. How can I switch to one-time payment?
Just go over to the one-time payment and go ahead and pay. And then as soon as I get that confirmation through my website, I'll physically go into your monthly reoccurring membership and close out that subscription. So you'll get an email confirmation that says, hey, your membership was canceled. It's not your membership with private group is canceled, just the reoccurring payment part. And then depending upon when you paid, that will be a year from that date. Because I've had some people already pay through the end of December, like they just made their December payment and they want to take advantage of that. So that just pushes them clear out to the end of December 2021.
And her website is still on the bottom. It's pinned.
Okay, so let me go over this with you guys. So every single time that I have added a ribbon, I started at 10, and then each consecutive ribbon, I have knocked it down a ½ inch. So 10, 9.5, 9, 8.5. This was 8, and then the last one will be 7.5 as far as the tails. The loops are 5.5, 5. 2 at 4.5, 1 at 4, and then 1 at 3.5. So that's my recap on ribbon. And then we're gonna finish with the gingham. And I'm super excited because I think you guys will be able to benefit in 2021, because when I go through my master training, the things that we look at of an online business owner, what didn't work in 2021 or 2020 going into 2021, we'll be able to pass along that insight to you. So I'm trying to revisit what I did in 2018 that really worked. And we're gonna kind of start to incorporate some of that, going back to some of the basics. Okay, so there, right at 3.5. I don't want it overly big. And then this one's at 7.5. This is my favorite wreath to put together because there is literally everything. The only thing missing is the chicken. But you could always incorporate your own chicken. I thought about doing that for this one, adding a plush. It's a plush rooster, but I'm like, no, we'll kind of keep it simple. Okay.
Happy New Year's all.
Alrighty.
Joining.
Let me.
Rita said I like watching you make bows because I can't get it.
Yes, you can. It just takes practice. Practice, practice, practice. I had to plug in my glue gun because I forgot. I don't need it right away, but okay. So here's your bow making class as well. So I'm going to remove this stack, and the nice thing about the Bow-Dabra is I have that ability. So you can see it's a nice little sandwich right here. I'm going to take my pipe cleaner. So the way I hold my bows is kind of like you spread your fingers out and your thumb will hold it between the middlemost part of your hand like this, so that this is like an arrow, and we're going right down the middle of our hand, keeping the stack, and then you're going to twist everything. So this is really good for if you have limited hand strength. Twisting the bow instead of twisting the pipe cleaner will make it a little easier on your hands. And then let's put this over here along with these. And then we're gonna pull out, I call this my fluff board. It's not a fluff box because it's not a box, it's a board. I like things when I'm fluffing to be mostly flat, just because I need a bigger area to work with, and I don't like things that are elevated. So this is an 18 by 24 inch cutting board. It's 3/4 of an inch thick, but if you go to Home Depot, from what I've been told, and Lowe's, you can always ask where their scrap wood pile is. Sometimes you can find these for free in the section. Take a measuring tape with you.
Right.
Or you can buy them pre-cut. So most of the pre-cuts are 24 inch by 24 by an inch. That's great. I think it's roughly about $10.
They make them 1/2 inch, 3/4.
And that's really nice.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I just add a C-hook here to hold my ribbon in place. I can still work with it. And I added a nail to the outside, so if I'm using the Pro Bow and I'm using floral wire, this just gives me an additional anchor point. So for here, people think that this is part of the fluffing process. It kind of is, but all you're doing is separating your stacks from the top. What I call top is this is top and this is bottom. So you pull the loop and then you pull your tail here, and then you go to the other side and you're finding this exact same ribbon, and you're going to go opposite. So here is the loop and here's the tail. So what you want is for them to be across, so the loops are across from each other and so are the tails. And then you go down to the next ribbon, and instead of following this, you're going to go opposite. So we have a tail here. We're going to take the tail over here, and we're going to bring the loop here. And what that did is it put our loops opposite patterns. Over here we have our tails opposite, and when we go and grab the other side and do the same thing, you have tails and loops completely opposite. So now you've got them well mixed. So all we're doing is we're going through the stack and just separating by loops and tails, one side versus the other. And I'm not going to rearrange my ribbon yet. I'm just going to unstack everything. So back to here. Go back to the other side, and then we're finishing up these ones. So I'm going to untwist that. And now is where you can fluff and pull. So we want to make sure that all of our tails and our ribbons are completely, you can look down and you can see all the colors. From the sides, you can see all your ribbon choices. So just move things around as you desire them to look. You don't have to do it my way. So I always pull on them, pull up. pull up. And then if you want to put the arc back in your tails, just kind of put them between your fingers and just lightly pull. And you can put that the curve back in your ribbon. You see it more when it's actually on the wreath than the way that you see it here, but let me hold this up. So there you go. Okay. So now I'm just gonna pop it off my hook. And just, the thing I like about this is it's thin enough to store on the side of my fridge. So it's done. If I had a box, I'd have to find a place for that. So I'm kind of looking at my ribbon and I'm thinking I want it here, like my sign, this is my sign area, because I have tails and everything else around the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add my ribbon, the bow first. So I'm looking for one of my inners. So here's one of the inners that I cut off.
Thank you, Rachel. She said the bow is beautiful.
Thank you. And just remember, your bows are gonna get better the more you make. And just take your time. Remember, bows are, you can take the whole thing apart and rework the ribbon if you don't like, oh, I don't want to put 2 harlequins in here. I'd rather see maybe a solid black. Unstack them.
Mona said, Kat is always such a patient and thorough instructor.
Those are my years as a trainer. I loved training. It was my favorite job. So now we're just repositioning a few things. Fluffing again. Making sure my tails are all where they need to be. And then we're going to go ahead and add the sign. So this is where you can look at your wreath and go, do you want your sign up in the corner? Do you want your sign directly over the eggs, which is I think what I'm going to do. Make it a little bit different. Normally I always go for some reason to the upper left. So I'm going to put this one right in the middle. So knowing that, I already have, let me see, here, I'm just looking at where I have the inner ones. I don't want it to cover my sign at all. So I am just going to take these down right to my frame. And generally when I put the first one through, let me lift this one up, since it's an outer, this way it'll frame. I will lightly put the sign on, which means I'm not going to twist it down all the way until I'm happy with the placement. Because when I've done that in the past, I've had to relocate my sign again. So we'll go here. And then we will get it anchored on this side. So what I mean is pulling your ruffle up so that your sign will lay as soon as I can pick it up. And I'm right on a cross beam, which makes me really happy, because then I have very little movement, and I'll readjust the bow in a sec. Okay. So now I can move my sign, readjust some of my outer ruffles so that it frames. This is what I mean by framing your sign, so that you don't see that hard edge on your sign. So I'm going to move my bow back forward. Oop. Let me move this back just a smidge. Get it all lined up where it's supposed to go. Okay, just like this. Just at the tip edge of our sign. So I'll hold that up so you guys can see it. It helps me to look at it too when I see it, because I'm seeing it straight up and down, mostly upside down. So this helps me as well. Okay, so now we're gonna go around the outside. I'm trying to have my bow sit a little flatter. So I just kind of push some of the ruffles under the sign. So it's not doing this riding up. So the ribbons that I've cut on the 2.5 inch, oops, I've done the red harlequin and then the chicken wire. And these are gonna go all the way around the outside 12. So I am going to alternate the colors. These are cut to 14-inch pieces, so I have 6 of each color. Because remember, the outside pipe cleaners is only 12, because we removed the inside ones. And so I just go in to my pipe cleaners, folding these in half so that I can find where middle is, and I just kind of pinch that together, because that's where it's going to go in to your pipe cleaner. And then we're going to take them and you're going to fan them out. Just like so. And we're going to keep on going. What questions do you have that I can answer for you while I'm doing this portion?
You might have to contact the seller and see if they have more of the signs, because I went on her page and it didn't show it on there.
Oh, that sign?
Yeah.
Yeah, just reach out, just contact seller and say, I just saw the farm fresh eggs from Happy Hens on Cats Live. She probably doesn't realize that they sold out. So all they have to do is just add more quantity for you. Print more signs.
And you should be able to click on the link that I posted.
The Etsy one?
It's not on the pin, but
Was somebody saying that they're not finding them on her
Nancy,
site?
well, Nancy said, where did you get the sign? And I just replied to her, but I put the whole website for
okay.
Etsy. So you should be able to just click on that and it should take you right to their website.
That happens in a lot of times with sign vendors. When they have a really popular design, they'll sell out quicker than they realize, and all they need to do is go in and adjust the quantities so that they have more. Because when you're listing things, you try to gauge, okay, well, how many should I list? You know, is it 10? Is it 20? Well, we'll start 20, and then all you see is they're selling. It doesn't tell you, well, here's how many you have left, until it says sold out.
Rachel, yes. Well, so we've taken down all of our inside Christmas decorations, and this weekend I'm going to be taking down all the front yard decorations.
Looking forward to that. I really am. We took down all the inside ones on the 27th.
Yeah.
Because everyone went home. It's like our kids all went home, so it's just like, it's really lonely when you're walking around the house and you're like, your kids aren't here, it doesn't feel like Christmas anymore. So that to me is just a reminder that Christmas isn't here, we've got to wait another year. So I'm like, let's take it all down. Let's put new stuff up. Let's start 2021 fresh. So it was more for me. If it was up to Steve, they would have stayed up till this weekend probably.
Well, my family was always that way. It was, we always took down decorations the week after Christmas.
Did you?
Yeah.
But see, you were family, so there were still people in your house. So, I don't know. I'm glad they're down. Happy.
Nancy said last night I watched the tulip wreath live and I forgot to share it. How can I find the replay?
Oh.
That's on the regular group.
Yeah, it's in the Cats Creations page. So just go either to Cats Creations on Facebook. It should be pinned to the top, although this one will replace it. So just kind of scroll down till you get to, today is Thursday, to Wednesday's post, and then you'll find it. Or you can just go to the YouTube, and it'll be right on the top.
Yep. Go to YouTube, type KatsCreations777,
Mm-hmm.
and it should be the first video.
Well,
Should.
until you upload this one.
No, the purple tulip wreath, the one you did yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'll be the first one until we upload this one.
Right.
And then it'll be the second one. But yeah. Yep.
Gail said I need to finish my tree tomorrow for Valentine's.
Gail?
Yeah, Gail. Alec and I planned the whole year of decorations.
Good. I'm not that brave. I told Steve I wouldn't want my tree up the whole year. Maybe next year I'll do a pencil tree. And just do it all white. So
We have to lift it up so the cats don't get to it.
that's the whole thing. So that was another reason why we took our decorations down early. Is anything that had artificial, whether it's the pine or trees or garlands, our cats were just eating it. And that's not pretty when they eat it.
No.
So that was another reason. I'm like, can we just go through the house and take down all the stuff they're eating and chewing on? Because it doesn't matter what we do to it. They'll still eat it. They'll still chew on it. And this is the last one. And then we're going to go in and add on some, not all. We're going to add some ribbon tails, or half bows, sorry, to some of these, but not all of them. And this kind of worked out exactly the way I wanted. So, trying to get this one to lay where it's supposed to. Okay. So we have, I did 3 of the 1.5" in the gingham in 17-inch pieces, 3 in the ticking, and then 3 in the black and white. And these are gonna go where the black and white are gonna go on the burgundy, and then the burgundy's gonna, every other black ribbon will be the gingham. And so I kind of have it planned out. Let me think. Okay, I kind of figured it out. So yes, that works, I think. I don't know. We'll think about it. Maybe I should have done, because now it's going to be gingham on gingham, or the harlequin on harlequin. So we'll see how well that looks. So let's see if we can break that up. So I'm just taking these at
Freezing
17
up a little
inches. Huh?
Freezing up a little bit, but oh, it's clearing up.
Let's hope for good things. I wasn't thinking that one through. Let me look and see how that's gonna look. Because with every chicken wreath, we refine and make it a different design. Okay, that'll work.
That's a good motto.
What?
Refine and design.
Refine the design. Okay. So I'm kind of mixing these up. So I know kind of where they need to go. That works. And you'll see in a second when I show you what else we're going to add to it. So let me show you how to do what's called half bows. Let me just get these ones situated. And I think I'm going to do the ticking all the way around. So I'm going to yank these because I don't like the idea of the black and white on top of the harlequin already. It just looks way too busy. So we're going to put these on every single one of the harlequin. So I'm going to just add 3 more of the ticking. So you just match your tails on a 17-inch piece. You come up to about 2 inches from where you pinch it to the top. So here's 2 inches. And then I just add this right on top of my 2.5, and I twist my pipe cleaner about 5 times just to make sure it doesn't work its way loose. And then I take the existing pipe cleaner little stubble and go right behind the loop and then fan out the tails so they look like this. So let me spin it so I can show you.
That's an interesting tip. Thank you, Cindy.
What's that?
She's talking about trees. I heard if you put orange peels and cinnamon under the trees, cats won't go by them.
I would like that. That would make it smell really wonderful. We'll see. Okay, so this one we're skipping. So going back over here. So can you zoom in on the like half bows?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so that's what we're doing. So I just like the taking over the harlequin. Like doing doubles. Okay. Fan these out. Cut the little arches back in. So I'm gonna take this gingham, going back, because we skipped here. Yes. I was like, did I skip 2? No, every other one is on the chicken wire one. So we're putting a gingham in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the gingham's only going in every other slot. But I really looked at the placement because I wanted 2 at the bottom to be open for what we're gonna put in them. Okay, these are gonna go away. And then we will cut 3 more of these. 17. You can tell how thick it is.
Yeah.
So cutting boards are nice because all of your measurements are right there.
Or you've seen other people use like measuring sticks.
Yeah.
They can just measure them out, wrap them, and then cut it.
I'm not cutting that many. If I was doing a lot, sure.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna dovetail the ends. Make sure these line up. And dovetail these. So there's that one. And then here's a trick if you only have one to do. You just bring the ends together, fold it over, and then dovetail the top and bottom at the same time. Okay. And then we can keep going around. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Snip.
So weird because it doesn't even feel like New Year's today. I don't know why. To me, it doesn't.
Because I think you're used to having all this time off. You used to take off the whole last couple weeks of the year. And the fact that you haven't just makes it feel like, where did all the time go? Because you usually try to plan to take all your vacation at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I skipped my 1.
And it looks like, yes, you got another sale earlier.
Oh, okay. So I'm flipping. Probably the one that I reached out to. Okay, so there's that. And then I got to add my last gingham and my last ticking. And then you've always got to be open to adding some change, because sometimes you just look at your wreath and you think, it's awful blank in spots. Do I want to add something to break up all of the beige? So we'll see. And sometimes just through experimentation, you find new innovative techniques that you're like, oh, I can use that. elasticking. And then I'm going to teach you how to work with the chicken wire ribbon, which, from my understanding, the only place I know you can get it is Hobby Lobby. I don't know if they sell it anywhere else. Somebody's meowing somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. All right. So those 3 blank spots that I told you we were leaving blank. So here, here, and there's one behind the wreath is where we're gonna put our chicken wire ribbon. And like I said, the chicken wire ribbon, the only place I know of that I have found is from Hobby Lobby. It comes in gold. Not a fan of that one. And the silver, because that's what most chicken wire looks like. And I'm just going to separate how I have this looped to keep it together. So this is what I'm saying. It's actual chicken wire, literally.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna stretch this out because we need it to be 14 inches, but we're gonna give it an extra 3 inches, and you'll see wire, 4 inches. So I'm gonna cut this at 18 inches. And when you cut the chicken wire, you're gonna go right down the middle of the little hexagon because the wire is all twisted. So you want those twisted ends to stay. So just like that. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your chicken wire and you're gonna fold it. You're gonna fold it right at one of, like, this is like my black will be like the whole highlight thing. So you have it folded here, right? So it's folded on, you're bringing one whole section over so that the ends are in between each one of those hexes, and all you're gonna do is push them up. And that locks the ribbon in, but it also eliminates those edges, the little pokey edges that would just be there. So right here is where I'm going to fold it. So you just fold it so that the wire comes through, and you're just gonna lift them up in each of those sections, and that'll keep your wire together and eliminate. So now you have no rough edges.
You just must have learned how to do that, because that's new for me, seeing you do that.
It's because you don't watch me make wreaths anymore. So yeah, innovative, right?
Mm-hmm.
You come up with a solution. So now with the chicken wire, you're gonna want to kind of find a middle ground. So I just kind of bend it, and this is what's gonna go inside that ribbon. So we left our pipe cleaners there. So we're gonna take this, we're gonna put it inside our pipe cleaner, and we'll go ahead and secure it so it won't fall out. Same way. And if you want, you could give it an extra fold. It's not gonna do anything because now you've got those edges secured. So I kind of like to keep it right at the length of my ribbon. And you just kind of mold it to fit. And so we have that chicken wire ribbon, but we also put the chicken wire on the chicken wire ribbon.
Isn't that cool, guys? They have chicken wire inside the wreath.
Well,
Especially with the chicken wire ribbon.
right. So again, stretch it out to the 18. So if 18 is right on the line, you can either go a little bit down or a little bit above, but always right in the middle of that hexagon area. And then we are folding up so that you have the wire. It's just so much easier. Do you remember how many times we'd have to sit there and try to twist it? And
or bend them to the sides.
This is just so much easier. I was like, just fold it. And then bring them up.
Yeah, kind of. Tina said basically making it 3D. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, I think the ribbon and the chicken wire.
So So pinch it together, kind of bring it down on a little U. Then we're gonna go back over to this side and we'll add our chicken wire right in. So it's all nicely secured. And not only that, it's safer, I guess, because we took the edges and folded them in. So they're nowhere on the outside. So now I'm just gonna give it an extra fold just so it follows the line of that ribbon. Just like that. And the nice thing about the ribbon is because this is wired, it holds that arch for you. So I know I have one more right here because we had 3 spots. And yeah, it kind of seems a little futile to stick one all the way where no one can see it.
But people will still see it.
People will still see it.
Especially when they pull it out of the box.
Yep. So, isn't that just so much easier?
Mm-hmm.
Because people are like, well, what do you do? How do you get rid of the blunt ends? And so people were trying to cut with the hexagons, and I'm like, you can't do that because it will untwist. Because it's only twisted in the straight parts of the ribbon. Okay, we'll go do this one. Right here.
What do you guys think? Get it lots of likes and loves.
So just remember, Hobby Lobby, it won't be in their seasonal. It'll be where all their ribbon is. Look towards wherever they keep the burlap because they kind of put it by the burlap ribbon. And let's see, starting, today is Thursday, right? So starting Monday, this ribbon will be half off. This week it was all florals. So Hobby Lobby, every other week, will put florals and ribbons opposite of each other on sale. Mm-hmm. So then you can get what I call buy one, get one free. That's 50% off. So I always tell Steve, it's buy one, get one free. He's like, no, it's 50% off. I'm like, exactly, buy one, get one free. So that's what you're doing.
I think you were the first to start putting the chicken wire in these. So.
Okay, so now to tie that look in a little bit further, you have the speckled eggs. Michael's will carry a great selection of speckled eggs. These I bought from a vendor on Etsy. I don't remember off the top of my head who the vendor is, but you could find just plain white eggs. If you're talented, you can spray paint them, or you could fleck the black, which
talent.
we've had to done.
Yeah.
We've had to do it once. And yes, it does take talent to do it, but I like the speckled eggs because they look more natural. We're going to be taking these and we're going to add those to the chicken wire portion. But before we do that, we are going to...
So Karen, you said Amazon has it. Are you talking about the chicken wire or are you talking about the chicken eggs?
You can find anything on Amazon.
That's true.
So I bought chicken feathers eons ago, and it comes with 3 different ones. So there's one with a spot. There's ones with, like they have like this little look to it, and then there's ones that are more like that. So these are the 3 you get in the big bag of chicken feathers. So yes, Amazon.
Yeah, she said the wire.
The
Amazon
chicken
has
wire?
The wire? Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Karen, for letting us know. Yeah, before we thought it was just Hobby Lobby.
Or somebody bought it and is selling it on Hobby Lobby.
Mm-hmm.
So because I don't have my glue skillet out here, because I don't really need it for a lot, I use the silicone mats on Amazon. And then I just dip my feathers in these, and I'm just going to add them right to my pipe cleaner where my chicken wire ribbon is. So I'm going to do 3 different ones. So we have one of each. I like the spotted ones in the middle. That's just me.
It's getting there to dry.
Yeah. Because I have it on low. If you put it on low, it dries a little quicker. Okay. And I'll show you what I did. I want to pull. Let me show you. As I flip that around. So here is our feathers. We're going to go ahead and add some hot glue to the bottom of my egg. And this is going to go right inside, right where the chicken wire and the chicken feathers and everything else is. So that'll sit. And then while that's drying, I'll go back to the other side over here and do the same thing. So just a wide variety of the feathers. It's hard finding the spotted ones. So we will do this. You know what I didn't pull out? The again.
You have to still do the raffia too, right?
I might not on this one. If you open up the right hand side of the closet, I think I have the bag of the small diameter speckled eggs. The little ones. I usually put a little one inside the bow. Details, right? It's all about the details. Oh yeah, you found them. Thank you. I don't even know who I got those from. I think Michael's, maybe.
Hobby
Michael's
Lobby.
has, is it Hobby Lobby? Okay, so Hobby Lobby does sell speckled eggs. I just don't think I've seen them out yet. So let's go all the way over here. So they come in a whole bunch of different colors. Granted, most of those I probably will never use. Like gray, green. What's the other color?
That's the good one I think you want.
Oh. Yeah, I
Gray
look for,
and 2 different types of green.
there, I think some even had blue.
Yeah.
Not a fan of the blue. Okay.
Ben said it's so pretty, I love it. Rachel said all these small details make such a huge difference.
It really does, because people are like, what do you mean you put chicken wire ribbon in there? What is that? It's like,
Gail said the gift shop Indiana on Etsy is also where I ordered eggs from.
okay, that might be the same place I think I told her too.
Yeah.
But check Michael's and Hobby Lobby. Now that it's getting closer to spring, they'll start to bring some of their spring designs out. With it, the speckled eggs. And that's when you want to just stock up so that you can have these throughout the year. You know, if you make chicken wreaths as often as I do, then you'll have them. So now we'll add one to the center. We'll just make sure, see what I'm saying, what we're doing. We'll add one right here to the middle. Oh, look. Those are the same size. Sometimes you can get a bigger one, like that one. So those are my 3. So I'll take this one. It's just a touch bigger. And we'll add this right into the center. We'll add these back. Okay, so let me look at this. So I think I want to add just a couple touches of ribbon to the outside of my sign just to kind of break up some of the beige. So let me show you how it looks to you guys, like that. Where's my gingham? So this is what I mean. I did this before. I'm gonna take one of these. Take it out. to 17. Let's dovetail this. Sometimes you just need to add other little elements to make it look really pretty. So I'm gonna take one of these with a pipe cleaner, because no pipe cleaner exists where I want to put it. So I kind of created a half bow like this. This is in a sense what we're doing. And then we're gonna add these to the edge of our sign, right in here. So not too far down, but right on the edge. It's kind of right where our pipe cleaners are at anyway. And we'll fan this out a bit. Trying to get my ribbon to lay flat. This one's folded. There we go. Just like that. Like you guys said, it's all about the finishing touches you do. Bring this one around. I need.
And even the bunny, I think, is on her Etsy shop, right?
What's that?
The bunny in the background?
No,
It's
the
not?
bunny. Oh, yeah, the bunny wreath is.
The bunny wreath is.
I thought you meant the stuffed rabbit. I was like, no, that's Michael's 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think I collect stuffed vintage toys. The older the toys, the nicer. Well, they just make it into my collection. And then they make an appearance during the holidays where I change out all their ribbons. Let's make sure this one. Okay. Do the same thing. You're gonna fan these out. But I don't want it to cover up my happy hens. There we go. Let's do that. Okay. Hold on a sec. I know you're like trying to fluff stuff.
No, I just saw some glue.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me find the opening. There we go. Okay. Let me show you what it looks like on the door. So you can see size-wise. This averaged out, this is 26 inches in diameter. It's gonna probably be about 6 inches full.
But it'll fit into a 24-inch box.
It will. Let me set him over here. I'll put this one. Okay. Pull everything out. Doesn't it look nice on a dark door?
Yeah, it
It's
does.
really good on a black door. And I just spun the door around, the other side's white. Like some of that. I think I got your glue for you. Did an egg roll? Not from here, but I think one rolled off the counter. Okay, so there you have it. This is, let's see, let's move this down so we can actually see all of our ribbons and our tails. There we go. Okay. And see, this is why I like the silicone glue, because you just peel it right off. And then I would take this and add that to my glue skillet. So really nothing's wasted.
Yeah. Kathy said I love it. Karen said I love it. Michelle said I love farm stuff.
Yeah, this one's really cute. Like I said, this sign is definitely different. It's kind of like an old world feel to it.
Ooh, Michelle said she made a cow one today.
Oh.
You'll have to post it on the group.
Yeah, just go to the Cats Creations page and share.
Yeah.
And let me know what you did. So that's pretty much about it. Any questions that I can answer for you guys? Don't forget, last night to join. The year membership is tonight. It'll go midnight our time, and then it'll default back to the regular price. You can still buy it, but it would be the whole year in advance. Or the monthly starts tomorrow. So check my website for that if you're interested in doing that tomorrow morning. And then we start our classes Sunday. It's every Sunday and Monday. Sundays at 3 Pacific. That would make it 5 Central, 6 Eastern. Yeah. And then Mondays it's at 5 Pacific.
8 Eastern.
7 Central, 8 Eastern. Yep. So, all right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining me in 2020. I look forward to showing you some amazing designs for 2021 with new signs and new vendors and lots of other things coming your way. And then we'll resume the Friday nights starting next week. It won't be tomorrow. So join me next week where we do our Friday night lives. And Happy New Year, everyone. Talk to you soon. Have a great weekend.